another deep dive into the world of horror. Today, we're exploring a figure that has become synonymous with online terror, the one and only Slender Man. You've likely heard his name before, but do you know the full story behind this eerie legend? Stay with me as we unravel the mystery of Slender Man, from his digital origins to his unsettling impact on the real world. Whether you're a longtime fan of creepypasta or new to the genre, Slender Man is a character that leaves a lasting impression, so let's dive right in. Slender Man didn't originate in ancient folklore or a dusty old book. He was born on the internet, making him a truly modern myth. His story begins in 2009 on an online forum called Something Awful. The forum was hosting a Photoshop contest where users were asked to create paranormal images. One participant, Eric Knudsen, also known by his online alias Victor Surge, submitted 2 black and white photos featuring children with a tall, faceless figure lurking in the background. What made these images truly terrifying wasn't just the visual, they were accompanied by brief captions that hinted at something far more sinister. In one caption, it was mentioned that 14 children and a photographer had gone missing. The other caption spoke of slender sickness, a term that would later become associated with the fear and paranoia Slender Man induces. These images struck a chord with the internet, and Slender Man quickly took on a life of his own. He became a collaborative myth, with people adding their own stories, images, and videos to the growing legend. This wasn't just one person's creation, it was a horror born from the collective imagination of the online community. So, what exactly does Slender Man look like? His appearance is deceptively simple, yet deeply unsettling. Slender Man is often described as being unnaturally tall, standing anywhere from 8 to 14 feet. He's incredibly thin, almost skeletal, with long, spidery arms that can extend and retract at will. His skin is pale and smooth, almost like porcelain, and his face, well, that's where things get really creepy. Slender Man has no facial features, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Just a blank, expressionless face that seems to stare into your soul. His attire is equally eerie. Slender Man is usually depicted wearing a black suit and tie, which adds to his unnervingly formal appearance. But don't let that fool you, beneath that suit lies something far more monstrous. In some stories, Slender Man is said to have tentacle-like appendages that emerge from his back, which he uses to capture and ensnare his victims. Slender Man's powers are as mysterious as they are terrifying. For starters, he's known to induce what's called slender sickness, a condition that causes paranoia, nightmares, memory loss, and even hallucinations. Those who encounter Slender Man often feel like they're being watched, even when they're alone. It's as if his presence lingers long after he's gone. One of Slender Man's most terrifying abilities is his control over technology. Cameras glitch, recordings are filled with static, and electronic devices behave erratically when he's near. This makes capturing any evidence of him nearly impossible, which only adds to his myth. And then there's his ability to teleport. Slender Man can appear and disappear at will, often reappearing in completely different locations. This makes escape nearly impossible. No matter how fast you run or how far you go, Slender Man will always be one step ahead. Once Slender Man was unleashed on the internet, his myth spread like wildfire. Creepypasta websites became filled with stories of encounters with this faceless figure, each more terrifying than the last. One of the most famous adaptations of the Slender Man mythos is the web series Marble Hornets. This series, presented in a found footage style, follows a group of filmmakers who become the target of Slender Man, or the operator as he's referred to in the series. Marble Hornets captivated audiences with its slow-burn horror and unsettling atmosphere, making Slender Man a household name among horror fans. It wasn't just the internet that took notice. Slender Man began appearing in video games, most notably in the indie game Slender, the 8 Pages. This game was a minimalist yet terrifying experience where players must collect 8 pages while being hunted by Slender Man. The game's simplicity, combined with the tension of knowing that Slender Man could appear at any moment, made it a huge success. But Slender Man's influence didn't stop at the screen. In 2014, the world was shocked when 2 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin attempted to murder their friend, claiming they were trying to appease Slender Man.
Two 12-year-old girls just outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin are accused in a vicious stabbing attack against one of their friends.
Making the case even more disturbing, the girls say a dark fictional character may have influenced their plot.
This real-life tragedy brought the dangers of these online myths into stark reality. The girls believed that by sacrificing their friend, they could prove their loyalty to Slender Man and become his proxies, gaining protection for themselves and their families. This incident raised serious questions about the influence of internet culture on young minds. It also highlighted how powerful and dangerous these myths can become when people start to believe in them too deeply. Slender Man, once just a fictional character, had crossed over into the real world with devastating consequences. Despite, or perhaps because of, his dark history, Slender Man remains a potent figure in horror culture. He's inspired movies, games, and countless stories, each adding to the ever-growing legend. But what makes Slender Man so enduring? Is it his facelessness, which allows us to project our deepest fears onto him? Or is it the way he lurks in the background, always just out of sight, feeding our paranoia and fear? Slender Man is more than just an urban legend. He's a symbol of the internet's ability to create and spread horror, blurring the lines between fiction and reality. His story reminds us of the power of collective storytelling and the way our fears can take on a life of their own. So, what do you think? Is Slender Man just a modern myth, or does he tap into something deeper, something that speaks to our primal fears? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're brave enough, maybe even share your own Slender Man encounter. As always, stay safe, keep your eyes open, and be careful when you're alone in the dark. You never know what might be watching. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of horror.